chilly outside, but for this storm, some pretty impressive numbers. Here's a look at some of those rainfall totals through this morning. Places like Pasadena, Gore Hills, Ventura getting just about an inch of rain. Out in the Inland Empire in Orange County, about ½ inch, 3/4 of an inch. Again, this is one of our rainiest months out of the year, so we are definitely feeling that effect. Looking at our radar right now, things are clear across our area, but that storm system, it is to our north, packing plenty of rain out there in Northern California and on the Central Coast. That storm system will continue to move south and east across our area, so most of us won't start feeling it until late tonight. Most of this in those overnight hours into the early part of Monday. By Monday afternoon, we start drying out, perhaps a few lingering showers, but expecting most of Monday to be dry as well as Tuesday. But then on Wednesday, we are expecting yet another storm system. So here's a look at the advisories that we have right now. We have that wind advisory out there in the Antelope Valley, some of our mountain areas, as we are expecting some strong gusts tonight. That continues through tomorrow morning. And then we do also continue with that high surf advisory. That's across all of our beaches for that elevated surf, as well as some very strong rip currents. Of course, not exactly beach weather, but if you are headed out to the beach, definitely be careful in the water. Temperature-wise, we will continue on the cooler side. Right now, temperature is checking in mostly in those 50s, a few 40s out there in places like Lancaster, Apple Valley, 50 in Avalon, as well as Anaheim, 54 in Burbank. Daytime highs, as expected, running a little below average. Today, only 61 degrees for downtown Los Angeles. Average this time of year is 68. And we will continue on the cooler side for this upcoming week. So here's a look at those numbers. We are expecting, again, some rain tonight into tomorrow morning. Bit of a break on Tuesday, and then Wednesday into Thursday, we have a chance of getting some more rain. This one not expected to bring us more than a few showers across our area. Then the big storm we're expecting is going to be this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. So we'll continue watching that for you, but keep those umbrellas handy because this entire upcoming week we have on and off rain for several days.
So on that note, I'm going to get off the desk and talk about the weather because we do have some showers outside. Please give yourself a little extra time getting the kids to school, for you getting to work, because the roads are slippery. The good news is they are mostly light, and the showers should dissipate by lunchtime, and this afternoon we'll get a chance to dry out. We'll see some sunshine. So all of you, maybe contractors working on someone's house, you can resume the work this afternoon, i.e. my house. All right, we are looking at some wet weather moving across the Midwest, at least the upper Midwest. 53 in Chicago today. 33 New York City, some snow up there as well near the Great Lakes. 79 south into Miami, 73 near Dallas, 44 up in the Pacific Northwest near Portland and Seattle. There's that area of low pressure. We had thought this one was going to just stay mostly to the north. We're catching the tail end of this front. That's why we're seeing a little bit of instability here for us today. Really, the story as well is the wind. The wind is quite strong, especially up in through the high desert. Sandra's been covering that story. Those wind gusts getting near 70 miles per hour even in some spots, and at least until about 9-10 o'clock this morning. So please exercise caution. We are looking at some debris on the roads, some downed trees, and the possibility of downed power lines. So that is in store for us. Watching another area of low pressure that is still well off in the Pacific. That could give us about a 10% chance for rain late tomorrow night into Wednesday. Greater chances for another round of some strong storms this upcoming Friday into the weekend. So you really want to prepare for that, especially if you live below those recently burned hillsides. Here's one model I like to use to illustrate what we're expecting. This is as of 7:30 this morning. You can see the light showers, mostly LA, Ventura counties up into Santa Clarita. You can see how it quickly dissipates. Maybe a little cell moving through the South Bay this afternoon. Otherwise, really much better weather as we head into the afternoon and evening hours. As far as rainfall totals, we did good over the weekend, Saturday into Sunday. We got more than a ½ inch of rain for downtown LA, upwards of an inch plus over the mountains and foothills, just as we forecast last week. That brings us our season to date in positive territory, 16 16/100ths above average for the season. Looking at our 7-day forecast, you can see it stays cool today. We warm up to near average tomorrow, a little bit of a drier period before that next chance for some very light showers Wednesday morning. Again, a little bit of a dry period on Thursday before that next round of stronger storms. It looks like Friday into the remainder of next weekend. So really want to prepare for that because that could trigger some more mud and debris flows. Today up in the mountains, 45 in Big Bear. Again, the same scenario with a little chance on Wednesday, the next chance for rain Friday into this upcoming weekend.
So Maria,
Yes, hi.
we are dry today. Alex missed the rain.
You got your version of it,
It was
up in
way
north.
more intense
Yeah.
in Sacramento.
Yeah,
One of the craziest rainstorms I've ever seen.
So you actually escaped it because it's still raining there up to our north. We're watching a series of storms now. The door's open for a wet winter. At least it looks like it right now. We had a good rain yesterday, 2/10 of an inch of rain for downtown LA, a little bit of a dusting of snow up in the mountains, and we're looking at yet again another storm system. But I think we're going to be okay from this one. That one should stay to our north. Long Beach camera showing you the Queen Mary. It looks good out there. We do have some high mid-level clouds, so perhaps a partly cloudy to a partly sunny day, depending on how you like to look at that cup, half full or half empty. If you're traveling to the east, expecting 46 degrees in New York City this afternoon, 42 in Chicago. We do have some wet weather there. Otherwise, mostly tranquil and calm across the country, with the exception of the west coast, Pacific Northwest, looking at some rain due to that area of low pressure we're watching. This is a rather large low pressure system. We are once again at the tail end of this cold front beginning to move in. We may see some light showers from this system tomorrow, but mainly out towards Santa Barbara County, Ventura County. I don't think it will get as far south as LA County and Orange County. Here's one of the models we like to use to illustrate what we're expecting to happen. This is as of tomorrow morning at 5:30. You can see the leading edge of this front moving into Santa Barbara. We put it into motion. You can see it just skirting across Ventura County, and then right around the evening hours, another little blip. So just some clouds and maybe a sprinkle as we head into tomorrow. All right, temperatures on the sand, upper 50s, low 60s. Surf heights rising today, 3 to 5 feet. We've got some westerly swells, so west-facing beaches will be looking out for some really high surf by late Wednesday into Thursday, 6 to 12 plus feet. So coastal flooding certainly possible. Very strong rip current, so please be careful if you are headed to the coast. We are looking at a couple of dry days, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then that next 2 system moves in for a good chance for a real good soaker. This weekend, that could trigger some more mud and debris flows.
Weather is nice.
Weather-wise,
It's nice.
yeah.
It's always nice in Cali.
Well, even when it rains, right? Well, tell that to the people who are living below those mountainsides that are compromised already, right, from the recent burns. But we are looking at another storm system that's out there right now. I don't think we will see any rain from LA County south. There's a small chance we might see some sprinkles today, but mainly over Ventura County, north into Santa Barbara, and on up into the Pacific Northwest. So that's where the concentration of precipitation is at today. Otherwise, we are looking at some clouds as well as some dense fog. I know some of you, perhaps, that are here in the studio ran into some of that fog, including Soumada. So please give yourself a little extra time. Hard to tell from that live shot you just saw how clear it was off of our camera up on the roof. But otherwise, here's the rain. The radar definitely picking up all of that precipitation from Point Conception, north of Santa Barbara, on up to Atascadero, on into San Francisco. Lots of snow falling up into the Mammoth, the Sierra area, which is good news for us. We get a lot of our water from up north. But our visibility here locally showing you a bit of that low cloud cover. So we have the low clouds mainly along the coast, also some fog, and definitely more concentrated in Ventura County. So that's where you really want to give yourself a little extra time. If you are headed to the airport, maybe getting out of town today, you will be flying into a high of about 16 in Minneapolis. So cold wintry conditions up there in the northern plains. 46 in New York City today, 46 in Boston. Miami, one of the warmer spots, 78 degrees, 57 in Dallas this afternoon, and just 51 in Seattle. Another kind of dreary day up in the Pacific Northwest as we watch this area of low pressure move in. Now, the tail end of this front is what we are seeing the effects from today. That's why we're seeing the clouds and that small 10% chance for showers from Ventura County. But we are looking at some high surf. This low pressure pressure and other storms that are moving now to in the North Pacific, generating these high swells for us. So we do have that high surf advisory that's in effect, particularly large up into Ventura County today. So please beware. Beginning 10 o'clock this morning, those surf warnings are going to be in effect. 8 to 12 feet, Ventura, LA, plus even higher some sets. OC San Diego, a little smaller, but still very dangerous, 6 to 10 plus feet with very strong rip currents. So please stay out of the water unless you're a really experienced surfer. Temperatures on the sand today, upper 50s to near 60s. Highs will be slightly below the average. Here's the timeline as we break it down, because that storm door is open. Today, tomorrow, mostly dry, relatively dry with just some clouds. Friday, late in the day, you'll start to see the clouds increase ahead of another storm we're watching. We're going to see rain Friday night into Saturday most of the day. We do have an important game coming up this Saturday with the Rams playing Saturday afternoon. We have live coverage here on Fox 11. I think that'll be okay. It's going to be that period in between systems. Another one moves in late Sunday into Monday, so your Monday morning commute could be a wet one, but that could extend the stormy weather well into early next week. In the mountains, that will mean some snow for our local resort. Dry conditions out there. You really use this day to prepare, have a good time as well, of course, enjoy the sunshine.
Before the doom and gloom comes?
Yeah.
Well, before it starts raining, it starts feeling really cold, and that storm door is open. We talked about this over the last couple of days and how winter is here, and we're finally seeing that kind of wet winter we have been looking out for to end the drought seasons that we've had, right? 6 out of the 7 last years really have been just so dry. And now we're starting out really well. We've had some good rainfall so far, and we're going to add yet again a few more, hopefully a couple more inches into the bucket. In the meantime, here's a live look outside. Sky Fox shooting down the coast of Seal Beach, one of my old stomping grounds. I love that place. When I first moved to SoCal about 20 years ago, moved into the Seal Beach area in Orange County. So you should check it out. Cute little main street there in downtown. 37 degrees in Boston today if you are traveling east, 36 in New York City. Fairly quiet across most of the country. There's a few spatterings of showers there in South Texas, Mexico, on up into portions of the desert Southwest. Otherwise, 54 in Portland, Seattle, Washington area, looking at some wet weather there. High pressure weakening over the Southwest ahead of this first of a series of storms we're watching. This area of low pressure still off the coast of the Pacific Northwest, and that low will trek east. We're going to catch the southern portion of that low pressure system, and I think the timing will be tricky, but for now we're looking at one of these computer models. I'll show you what we're expecting to happen. This is as of tomorrow morning. It should still be dry for us today, tomorrow. As we put it into motion, you can see the leading edge of this cold front move into Santa Barbara County, Ventura County by late tomorrow night. As we put it more into motion, you can see the bright colors, the oranges, the reds. That's when we start to worry, because that's when we see those rainfall rates get up to 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch per hour, and that can trigger those dangerous mud and debris flows. Again, we're expecting at this point coast and valleys 1/2 inch to 1 inch of rain, mountains and foothills maybe even 2.5 inches, and snow expected for our local resort, so that's good news. I do think the storm system will be down well into Orange County and into the Inland Empire by Saturday morning, which means that all-important game the Rams are playing at the Coliseum Saturday afternoon should be dry. It'll be cool, so definitely bring a jacket if you go. We'll see some partly cloudy skies and perhaps a lingering sprinkle or two, but for the most part, coverage starts at 4 here on Fox 11 with Liz and the gang. Kickoff at 5:15. It should be in the mid to upper 50s. Surf height-wise, we are still looking at some pretty big waves, 7 to 10 plus feet, so high surf advisories remain in effect. Please be careful if you're heading into at the beach. Looking at our 7-day forecast, again, breaking it down, Friday night into Saturday morning, rain. Next system, Sunday night into Monday, and then yet again another one Tuesday into Wednesday.
So, Soumada, today we're dealing with the fog, and later on we'll be dealing with the rain.
Oh, yes. I know this morning there is foggy out there, but yes, the big concern is what's happening later tonight. That area of low pressure will slowly move in our direction, and here's a look at the way it's going to be panning out. So you can see that moisture flow already starting out as early as 7 o'clock this evening, but that's really for the Santa Barbara area. Here's the play-by-play. As we make our way across the evening hours and into tonight, we are looking at a band of heavier rain showers, rainfall intensity rates. This is the real concern, 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch of rain per per hour, and that unfortunately is enough to possibly trigger mudslides and debris flow in the Holy Fire area, as well as the Woolsey Fire, the Hill Fire locations. And as you are sleeping, that's the danger, because in the middle of the night, you're not really paying attention to what's going on. Just be extra cautious of that. And then by around afternoon times, you can see lingering showers. That front kind of fizzles out and eventually will die out by Saturday evening. So just in time for the Rams versus Cowboys game. How much rain are we expected to get? A half an inch to an inch for coast and valleys, mountains and foothills. The potential for thunderstorms could be delivering 1 to even up to 2.5 inches of rainfall with the system, and snow above the 6,000 foot level. Areas like the Big Bear Resort could be even seeing potentially at the greater heights up to 8 inches of snowfall. Right now, high pressure is giving us kind of the decent weather conditions today. It'll be dry, but as it tracks away eastward, it's making room for this area of low. As that makes its way across our area, it's also making room for more. We're opening the gates to a series of storm systems. We could be seeing rainfall on again, off again through a period from Monday into Thursday. There's that winter weather advisory ahead of that storm system for our local mountains. And here's a look at that 7-day forecast. So dry most of the day today. The heavy stuff coming in Friday night into your Saturday morning, lingering into the afternoon. Sunday, expect just cloud cover and a dry Sunday before we wait for the potential for more rain coming Monday, potentially for your morning commute, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Lots of rain our way. Now let's go and check in with Rick. Rick, good morning.
Well, Aloha Friday.
It is Aloha Friday. Thank you for reminding everybody. It's really
But
nice.
we're concerned about this rain. Everyone wants to know timing.
The timing's a little tricky, but for now, we have a pretty good handle on what we think will happen today and into tonight. So as you make your plans for the weekend, if you have something early going on tomorrow morning, be prepared for some very wet weather, i.e. myself. So there's some games, maybe those will need to be postponed tomorrow morning. But we are looking at a pretty good soaker to move in tonight during the overnight hours and into tomorrow. The important thing to remember is right now, as you're getting ready, we have the clouds, a little bit of fog. In fact, some dense fog in many of the valley locations and LA County up towards the San Fernando Valley. So you want to be prepared for that as you head out the door. Give yourself a little extra time. But in terms of this rainstorm, the peak rain will really occur tonight. I'd say around 10, 11 o'clock at night through early tomorrow morning. I'll show you that on the radar. But in the meantime, just keep this in mind. Mud and debris flows possible. Again, roadway flooding. I do anticipate some flash flood watches to go into effect very soon. Half an inch to an inch for the coast and valleys, upwards of 2+ inches, 2.5 for the mountains and foothills, and several inches of snow. If you're traveling today, there is a pocket of very wet weather across the south and southern plains. 52 there in Dallas today, 28 up near the northeast and New York and the New England states. That low pressure that's moving across the desert southwest will continue to track east across the deep south. We're watching this area of low pressure now that's off the coast, off the Pacific coast. This is one of a series of storms we're watching to begin impacting us with inclement weather tonight through next week. This low will move quickly. That's at least the good news, but there will be a period of 6 to 12 hours of steady rain, depending on where you're at. If you live closer to Santa Barbara County, you'll see the rain first earlier this evening, and then it'll eventually make its way south into Orange County. That's the first of a series, as I mentioned. There's several, as you can see, in the North Pacific, so be prepared for wet weather through next week. Here's that model I was mentioning earlier. You can see that around 8 o'clock, maybe near Santa Barbara County as we put it into motion. Look at the bright colors, the yellows, the oranges, and the reds. This is an area where we're anticipating rainfall rates of more than 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch per hour. And we get those heavy downpours. There's nowhere for that rain to go, that water. So expect flooding, ponding, and that can trigger those recently burned hillsides to go. So that's why mud and debris flow is really possible. Very hazardous driving conditions over the next several days, particularly driving up to our local resorts. We're expecting about 8 inches of snow. I do think by tomorrow afternoon, we start coverage on that Rams game here on Fox 11 around 4 o'clock with Liz Habib. I think you'll be okay for the game. It will be chilly. Temperatures will be near the 50s, 58 degrees at kickoff at 5:15, so make sure you dress appropriately. It'll get progressively colder into the game. Surf heights 4 to 8 feet, very strong rip current, so we do have that beach hazard in place. And as we break down the next 7 days, it'll be dry today, rain tonight through tomorrow morning, then a break in the afternoon. Next system we're anticipating Sunday afternoon, Sunday night into Monday morning, and that really just opens the door. Just wet weather all the way through Wednesday, possibly Thursday of next week.